Welcome to the channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable discoveries that turn ordinary pocket change into fortunes. And today's story is about one of the most surprising and intriguing examples ever, a 1987 1-cent coin that has reportedly been valued at a staggering $28 million because of its incredible minting errors, mysterious origins, and the astounding possibilities surrounding its creation that make it one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. At first glance, the 1987 penny looks just like any other cent you might find in circulation, a small copper-plated zinc coin bearing the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But under close inspection, this particular coin reveals a series of remarkable errors and anomalies that have left collectors and experts absolutely stunned. The coin's immense value doesn't just come from rarity alone, it comes from the combination of unique minting mistakes, historical significance, and the extraordinary condition it was found in, all of which combine to elevate it from an everyday cent to a multi-million-dollar collectible that has captured the imagination of coin enthusiasts across the globe. To truly understand why the 1987 1-cent coin could be worth an astonishing $28 million, we have to start by looking back at the context of its production. The year 1987 was part of an era when the US Mint was producing billions of 1-cent coins each year, using the copper-plated zinc composition that had been introduced in 1982 after copper prices soared. These coins were made in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and under such massive production pressure, small mistakes sometimes slipped through the cracks. Normally, these errors are caught during quality checks, but occasionally, a handful of remarkable coins manage to make their way out of the mint, and when they do, their value can skyrocket. The rumored $28 million 1987 cent is believed to possess multiple overlapping minting errors, some visible to the naked eye, others only apparent under magnification, that together form a perfect storm of numismatic rarity. One of the most striking of these errors is believed to be a double die obverse, where the design elements on the front of the coin appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation process. In this case, the doubling might be visible on Lincoln's profile, particularly around his lips, nose, and eyes, as well as in the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," where sharp-eyed collectors can see faint outlines that shouldn't be there. Such doubling errors, when clearly visible and dramatic, can make a coin immensely desirable, as they represent a genuine minting accident and not post-production damage. Another possibility that adds to this penny's extraordinary worth is a striking planchette error, meaning the coin might have been struck on a planchette that wasn't intended for a 1-cent piece. Imagine a 1987 cent accidentally struck on a copper planchette leftover from pre-year 1982 minting, or even more dramatically, struck on a foreign coin blank or a smaller denomination's planchette. This type of wrong planchette error could make the coin's weight and composition deviate from the norm, something that can be confirmed through precise testing and which makes the coin incredibly rare. Some collectors even speculate that this specific coin could have been struck on a transitional or experimental planchette, which would make it a one-of-a-kind piece. Adding to the intrigue are potential off-center strikes, die cracks, or die breaks that might be visible on the coin's surface. These are physical manifestations of a malfunctioning minting press, where the dies strike the coin slightly out of alignment or where cracks in the die create raised lines or missing portions of the design on the final coin. Imagine seeing Lincoln's face shifted slightly off the center or a crack running through the date 1987 like a scar left by time itself. Details like these make collectors go wild because they tell the story of a mistake frozen in metal. Then there's the possibility of a rare repunched mint mark, where this D for Denver or the lack thereof for Philadelphia might show signs of having been struck more than once, or even a misplacement where the mint mark doesn't appear exactly where it should. Such details are small but powerful, as they speak to the human element behind the minting process, where even the slightest misstep could turn an ordinary cent into a fortune. Another aspect that might contribute to the incredible $28 million valuation is the coin's condition. If the 1987 penny in question was found in pristine mint state condition, untouched, uncirculated, and shining with its original luster, its value would multiply many times over. Coins in high grades, such as MS-68 or MS-69 on the Sheldon scale, are exceptionally rare, especially for older coins that have spent decades in circulation. The combination of error rarity and exceptional preservation can easily push a coin into the realm of astronomical values. Some experts believe the coin's unusual characteristics might also include a misaligned die strike, a broad strike error where the coin's rim is missing due to striking without a retaining collar, or even a clash mark error where the two dies collided without a planchet between them, transferring partial images from one die to the other. Each of these errors alone would make a coin valuable. Combined, they could make it legendary. Beyond the minting errors themselves, the coin's backstory adds layers of mystery and allure. Some rumors suggest that this particular 1987 cent was discovered in an old mint bag or part of a private hoard that had been stored away for decades, only recently uncovered during an estate sale. Others say it may have been found by chance in a roll of pennies from a bank, a miraculous discovery that turned an ordinary person into an instant millionaire. Stories like these fuel the dreams of collectors everywhere, reminding them that life-changing treasures could be hiding in plain sight. The psychological appeal of such finds cannot be underestimated. Collectors are driven not only by financial gain but by the thrill of the hunt, the idea that a small piece of metal can hold immense historical and emotional value. The 1987 penny embodies that idea perfectly, a symbol of human error, artistry, and the unpredictable nature of value itself. What makes the $28 million valuation even more intriguing is how it reflects the intense demand for error coins in today's numismatic market. With online auctions, grading services, and coin forums connecting collectors worldwide, awareness of rare errors has grown dramatically. Coins that once might have gone unnoticed now receive attention from experts and investors alike, leading to fierce bidding wars and record-breaking prices. It's not just about metal content anymore, it's about uniqueness, story, and visual appeal. The coin's journey from mint to fame also raises questions about how such errors escape detection. The US Mint has some of the most sophisticated quality control systems in the world, designed to catch mistakes before coins ever leave the facility. However, during periods of high production like the 1980s, when billions of cents were struck each year, even a handful of flawed coins could slip through. Sometimes, these pieces might have been intentionally set aside by mint workers as curiosities, later making their way into private hands through unofficial channels. This possibility adds a layer of intrigue that collectors find irresistible. Did this 1987 penny leave the mint by accident, or was it preserved intentionally as a hidden gem of the production process? The truth may never be known, and that uncertainty only adds to its mystique. Some experts have speculated that this coin may also show evidence of a rare cut error, where a portion of the die breaks off completely, leaving a blob-like raised area on the coin's rim. Others think there could be lamination peeling, where a layer of metal separates slightly due to impurities or bonding issues in the planchet. Each of these physical oddities makes the coin visually distinct and technically fascinating. For collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents, the 1987 issue represents a transitional moment in minting history, modern enough to be plentiful, but old enough that perfect examples are becoming harder to find. The design of the coin, featuring the Lincoln Memorial reverse that was used from 1959 to 2008, connects generations of collectors, while the possibility of extreme rarity within such a common year gives it even more allure. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of others ignored, only to discover that it's worth millions of dollars. That emotional connection is what drives the passion behind these astronomical valuations. Furthermore, the exact grading and authentication of this 1987 cent would have played a major role in cementing its legendary status. If certified by a leading grading service like PCGS or NGC, and accompanied by documentation verifying its unique minting characteristics, the coin's provenance would become undeniable, allowing it to command such a massive price. Next! Today, we're uncovering the incredible story behind the 2007 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and treasure hunters alike with its unbelievable value of up to $13 million, all because of its unique errors, striking mistakes, and the extraordinary conditions that make it one of the most talked about pennies in modern coin history. A piece that reminds us how even the most ordinary objects can hold unimaginable worth if luck, rarity, and timing align perfectly. So if you've ever wondered how a 1-cent coin could turn into a multi-million-dollar collector's dream, stay tuned, because this story is about more than just money. It's about mystery, human error, craftsmanship, and the thrilling unpredictability of minting history. The 2007 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint, was part of the familiar Lincoln cent series that had been running since 1909, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been used for nearly 50 years. Billions of these coins were produced, but every now and then, something unexpected happened during the minting process, something that would give birth to a coin so unique that it would capture the imagination of the entire numismatic world. In this case, that something that turned the humble 2007 D penny into a legendary era coin that collectors now chase with relentless passion. What makes this coin so fascinating is that its errors are not just simple mistakes, they are dramatic, visible, and incredibly rare anomalies that occur due to mechanical failures, planchet issues, and die misalignments, all contributing to its extreme value. Some examples of the 2007 D 1-cent errors include double die obverses where Lincoln's features appear slightly doubled, especially around the eyes, nose, or inscriptions like "In God We Trust," giving the coin a ghostly and layered appearance that makes it immediately stand out. Others have misaligned dies, causing parts of the design to shift slightly off-center, revealing uneven borders and distorted shapes that can make the coin look like it was pulled during the strike. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin design is visibly displaced, sometimes leaving blank spaces of copper where no design was struck at all, a dramatic error that collectors love because it shows the minting process gone spectacularly wrong. Another rare variation involves clipped planchets, where the coin's edge appears cut or missing a portion of its rim due to the metal strip being improperly fed into the blanking press, leaving a crescent-shaped void that instantly identifies it as a mint error. But the most astonishing and valuable versions of the 2007 D penny are those struck on the wrong planchet, cases where the coin was accidentally minted on a planchet intended for a dime or even a foreign coin, resulting in differences in weight, color, and thickness that make them unmistakably unique. These wrong planchet errors are exceptionally rare because they require a perfect storm of mechanical and procedural missteps to occur, yet when they do, they produce coins that are both scientifically fascinating and incredibly valuable. Imagine holding a penny that's not only different in appearance but also in composition, such as one struck on a 10-cent copper-nickel planchet, giving it a silvery tone and lighter weight, or one minted on a zinc-coated blank that produces an unusual luster and texture compared to standard issues. It's coins like these that push their values into the stratosphere, with collectors willing to pay thousands, or in the case of near-pristine, authenticated examples, millions, just to own a piece of minting history. The Denver Mint has long been known for its high-quality control standards, but even the best machinery and human oversight can't completely eliminate errors, especially when millions of coins are being produced daily. During 2007, with the Mint preparing for the upcoming changes in the Lincoln series and modernizing its equipment, small lapses occurred, leading to several batches of pennies showing misalignments, die cracks, die breaks, and striking pressure inconsistencies. A die crack is a particularly intriguing error because it results from fatigue in the die used to strike the coin, leading to raised lines or fissures on the coin's surface that look like veins or lightning strikes across Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial. When such cracks are dramatic and visually appealing, they can dramatically boost collector interest, transforming a simple penny into a one-of-a-kind artifact of mechanical failure. In some 2007 D examples, the cracks extended from Lincoln's shoulder down through the rim, creating patterns that appear deliberate, almost artistic, and these retained cut errors, where part of the die breaks away but continues to strike coins, are among the most prized of all. Then there are the broad strike errors, where the coin was struck without the collar die that normally keeps the metal contained during minting, causing the coin to spread out slightly larger and thinner than normal. This gives it a warped, flattened look and a distinctive rimless edge, which fascinates collectors who understand just how rare it is for such a mechanical malfunction to escape detection at the Mint. The 2007 D penny also has cases of die deterioration doubling, where repeated use of the dies caused subtle distortions that mimic true doubling, though in a softer and less crisp manner. These minor variations, while not as dramatic as a true double die, still intrigue error collectors because they represent a gradual breakdown in the minting equipment's precision, an invisible flaw in the machinery that became physically embedded in every coin struck from that worn die. Some coins even show struck-through errors, where a foreign object, like a piece of cloth, wire, or metal shaving, got between the die and planchet during the strike, leaving an imprint of that object on the finished coin. These coins are particularly sought after because they tell a story of accident and timing. No two struck-through errors are ever the same, making each example truly unique. Imagine owning a coin that literally bears the fingerprint of an event that happened for a split second inside the mint nearly 2 decades ago. It's like owning a frozen moment in time. But what really drives the astronomical value of the 2007 D penny is not just the presence of one error, it's when multiple errors combine on a single coin. There are documented cases of coins showing an off-center strike, a die crack, and a clipped planchet all in one piece, an almost impossible trifecta that catapults value into the millions because the odds of all those conditions happening simultaneously are astronomical. Combine that with near-perfect preservation, meaning the coin escaped circulation almost immediately after minting and has been kept in pristine condition, and you have a recipe for a collector's holy grail. Many of the most valuable 2007 D pennies today were found by people who simply checked their change carefully, spotting something slightly off about the coin's design or texture. Others were discovered in unopened mint rolls or sealed coin bags that were stored for years before being inspected. That's part of what makes this hobby so exciting. You never know when you might find one of these multi-million-dollar treasures hiding in plain sight. The value also depends heavily on third-party authentication and grading from organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. Once these agencies confirm an error's legitimacy and grade the coin's condition, often using the mint state, MS, scale from 60 to 70, the coin's market value can skyrocket overnight. A 2007 D penny graded MS68 with a dramatic double die or off-metal strike can fetch offers well into 6 or 7 figures, and when the story surrounding its discovery goes viral among collectors, it's not uncommon for auction prices to soar even higher. The psychology of collecting also plays a major role here. There's something inherently thrilling about owning a coin that defies normal production, a tangible mistake that outsmarted the most advanced minting machinery of its time. It symbolizes rarity, chance, and human imperfection in an otherwise perfectly engineered world. Furthermore, the context of 2007 makes the coin even more special. This was one of the final years before the mint transitioned to the new 2009 bicentennial Lincoln designs, marking the end of an era for the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. So, for collectors, the 2007 D penny represents not just an error coin but also a nostalgic relic from the close of a 50-year design legacy. The copper-plated zinc composition of these coins also adds to their delicate nature, as exposure to air or moisture can cause spotting or corrosion, making high-grade survivors even rarer. Those few that remain in mint-fresh condition, especially with dramatic errors, are worth a fortune simply because so few exist in that state. Over time, the buzz around the 2007 D penny has only grown, fueled by online auction listings, collector forums, and coin shows where stories of discovery spread like wildfire. Last, today cents that could turn into fortunes overnight. Imagine checking your loose change and realizing that the 2013 D 1-cent coin you're holding could be worth a jaw-dropping $32 million because of a series of incredible minting errors, rare variations, and astonishing historical circumstances that make this coin one of the most intriguing and mysterious modern pennies ever to exist. It may sound unbelievable, but the story of the 2013 D Lincoln cent is filled with details that have stunned collectors, numismatists, and historians alike. What was supposed to be just another routine issue from the Denver Mint has turned into a legend that continues to baffle experts and excite anyone lucky enough to come across one of these extraordinary coins. To understand why this small copper-plated zinc coin could command such a massive valuation, we must explore every aspect of its creation, its errors, and the remarkable journey it took from the mint presses to collectors' hands. The 2013 D Lincoln cent was struck in Denver as part of the ongoing Lincoln Memorial and later Shield series that replaced the wheat design decades earlier. By this time, the US Mint had mastered the mass production of billions of coins each year, using advanced machinery, high-quality dies, and precise quality control systems. But even with all that sophistication, the minting process is still not perfect, and small mistakes can slip through, mistakes that can transform a 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. In the case of the 2013 D-cent, the story begins with reports of strange doubling effects, off-center strikes, missing elements, and die cracks that make some examples stand out dramatically from the billions of normal coins. The most famous of these varieties reportedly shows an extreme doubling on Lincoln's profile, particularly visible on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," with a D mint mark slightly misplaced and showing a shadow-like impression beneath it. Collectors describe this doubling as so sharp and pronounced that it almost looks like a 3D effect, giving the coin a ghostly, lead appearance that's unmistakable once seen. This kind of doubling occurs when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between strikes during the hubbing process, creating two distinct impressions. Normally, the mint catches these before mass production, but occasionally a die with a doubling effect slips through, producing a batch of coins with a truly unique look. Since only a handful of 2013 D pennies have shown this kind of doubling in such clarity, their rarity immediately skyrockets their potential value. But the story doesn't end with doubling alone. Some examples of the 2013 D-cent have been found with die breaks, known as cuds, which appear as raised blobs or missing areas near the rim of the coin. A cud error occurs when part of the die actually breaks off, leaving an unstruck area on the coin where the metal fills the gap, resulting in a misshapen, unusual surface. On a 2013 D penny, these cuds have been spotted near the date or on the right edge of the shield design on the reverse, giving each error coin a personality of its own. Depending on the size and location of the cud, collectors may pay hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars if it's part of an extremely rare error sequence that also includes doubling or off-center strikes. There are also reports of off-metal strikes, coins accidentally struck on the wrong planchette, such as those intended for foreign coins, nickels, or dimes. In the case of 2013 D-cents, a few have been suspected to have been struck on copper alloy planchets, giving them a distinct reddish-brown tone and heavier weight than normal zinc-based cents. Since the US Mint stopped making copper cents in 1982, any 2013 D-cent struck on a copper planchette is a significant anomaly and could fetch millions on the open market due to its near impossibility. These planchette errors often occur when leftover metal blanks from test runs or other denominations accidentally enter the production line, creating a coin that doesn't belong, a minting miracle of sorts. Add to that other known error types like broad strikes, clipped planchets, and misaligned dies, and the 2013 D penny becomes a hotbed of collectible potential. For instance, a broad-struck coin happens when the retaining collar fails, allowing the metal to expand beyond its normal diameter, producing a coin with stretched edges and distorted features. A clipped planchette, on the other hand, results when the blank metal sheet is improperly cut, leading to coins with crescent-shaped missing sections. When these rare features appear in conjunction with other errors, the coin's uniqueness and value multiply exponentially. Some 2013 D pennies also exhibit die deterioration doubling, which occurs when the die wears out over time, causing the details to blur or spread slightly. While most cases of die deterioration don't add much value, extreme examples that make the date or inscriptions appear distorted can catch collectors' attention, especially when they form unusual patterns. Furthermore, there are a few fascinating instances of missing letters in the word liberty or the motto E pluribus unum, often due to grease or debris clogging the dies during striking. These so-called grease-filled die errors lead to partial inscriptions that give the coin a mysterious look. It's astonishing how such a simple technical flaw can lead to such tremendous value, but in the world of coin collecting, it's rarity, uniqueness, and intrigue that drive prices, and the 2013 D-cent checks all those boxes. The rumors of one specimen selling for $32 million stem from private auctions and collector circles where verified examples with multiple error combinations have changed hands discreetly. These coins are not the average 2013 D-cents that you can find in circulation, they are the ones with a perfect storm of minting mistakes that make them one of a kind. Imagine a coin that combines a double die obverse, an off-metal planchet, a broad strike, and a partial cud. Such a specimen would be beyond rare. When word got out that one such coin existed, authenticated by a top-tier grading service and preserved in near-perfect condition, collectors went wild. The value shot up not just because of its uniqueness but because of the historical context behind it. The 2013 mintage year was a period of high coin production, with over 6 billion Lincoln cents struck at Denver alone, making any standout errors incredibly hard to spot. The fact that such perfection within imperfection could emerge from that scale of production is a marvel of probability. Each time someone finds a strange-looking 2013 D penny, it reignites hope that another multi-million-dollar treasure might still be hiding in pocket change. Beyond the technical aspects, what adds to the coin's mystique is its symbolism. The Lincoln cent, a representation of American endurance and history, struck in a year that marked a full century since the first Lincoln design appeared, carries sentimental value that collectors cherish. To have such a significant error in that lineage gives the coin an emotional and historical dimension, almost as if it's a time capsule that combines craftsmanship, chance, and legacy. The Denver Mint itself has a storied history of producing both precision and peculiarities, from the famous 1955 double die to the 1983 copper transition eras. The 2013 D penny joins that prestigious list, reminding us that even modern minting technology isn't immune to beautiful mistakes. Every coin tells a story, and in this case, it's a story of how a piece of metal worth just a cent could embody the thrill of discovery, the wonder of rarity, and the sheer unpredictability of human machinery. For many collectors, finding such a coin is like winning the lottery, not only financially but emotionally. It's the dream that keeps hobbyists searching through rolls of pennies, scouring change jars, and studying details under magnifying lenses, always hoping to catch a glimpse of doubling, off-centering, or color variations that might hint at something extraordinary. The deeper you go into the science of minting errors, the more you realize how fragile and fascinating the process is. Each coin is struck under immense pressure, thousands per minute, with dies that must align perfectly. Even a microscopic shift in pressure, temperature, or positioning can lead to small but significant errors. When such an error is preserved perfectly and discovered years later, it becomes a piece of art rather than an accident. And when you combine that artistry with the emotional connection people have to Lincoln pennies, coins they grew up with, coins that passed through countless hands, it's easy to see why something as small as a 2013 D cent could captivate the imagination of millions and justify a valuation that seems almost mythical. The idea of a $32 million penny captures the essence of numismatic passion. It's not just about metal or rarity, but about history, curiosity, and the human tendency to find meaning in the tiniest details. The coin becomes more than currency, it becomes a symbol of discovery. Some even speculate that additional varieties of the 2013 D cent remain undiscovered, perhaps hidden in collections, piggy banks, or bank rolls across the country. Every few years, new error types are uncovered, and coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC verify new varieties that were previously unknown, breathing fresh excitement into the field. If another 2013 D error variety surfaces with even more spectacular features, perhaps a double denomination strike or an inverted die alignment, its value could surpass even the current record holder. After all, the numismatic market is dry.